Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Say
Hi,
hi.
Mister.
Hi. Why are you rubbing my head?
Because it's fun. Just
All
to
right.
keep doing
Hi,
what you're
everyone.
doing.
I hope you're having a good lockdown. Welcome back to Cubs. This week we're going to be talking about the badges you can get
Wait.
while
This
you're
is
at home on
artiste.
lockdown.
Artiste.
Can everyone hear us clearly? Tell us if we can't
Artiste.
hear you or you can't hear us. Next week we will probably have a meeting on Zoom, so you can all talk to each other, and maybe you can show off if you've done any badges. You can show off what you've done. If you let me know in advance, you can show off your badges that you've done, and then we can all give you a clap, and we'll write down that you should get a badge when we're back at Cubs, which would be cool. Does that sound like fun? Does that sound like fun? 2 thumbs up from Abby. All right, good job.
And one.
And 1 thumb up from a distant Thomas who's hiding in a corner. All right, so let's talk about what badges you can do while you're at home. The way I found them, I'll show you. I went to the internet all the way over here. See? Wow. And I searched for Brooklyn Cub badges, which is the easiest way of finding the document that I have in my hands.
So
And
hard
then-
to see that actually.
Yeah, and then when you click on this, you get this, whoa, it's a PDF, and it has all the badges in it. And you don't need to print it off. You could just write down what you need to do, but someone in your house needs to be in charge of telling you that you've got the badge, that you've met the requirements. And they can put those requirements on Facebook, so you can just tell people on Facebook that you have got. Your parents can tell us on Facebook. They can tell the leaders on Facebook or send us an email with pictures or whatever it is, and then we'll write down on our notebooks that you deserve a badge, which would be cool.
By the way, hi Emma and
Hi
Ashley.
everyone. Say hello in chat if you're here. I know that Emma's here, Ashley's here, and Endgame. I don't know who Endgame is. Is that a nickname you remember? I don't know. Luke and Samuel and yay, hi all, and Renee, hello.
Wait, who's Endgame? Can you say your name in the chat? I don't know who you are.
Set up. It's Jacob.
Oh, it's Jacob.
That's a cool nickname. I like that. Nice one. So we'll, next week we'll do Zoom and we will do some badges. Are you going to do any badges this week, Abby?
Sure.
You are? Sure. Are you going to grow a ridiculous beard like I am while I'm in lockdown?
Wait. Ooh. Do it again.
You're weird.
Ooh.
It is shorter, but it's getting there very quickly, you see.
Yeah.
It's just to scratch children. That's the most important thing to do with beards. So, preferably your own. Now, we should talk about some of these badges. So, Jacob doesn't want anyone to know he's Jacob, I think. He says shush. So,
Sure,
let's look at the badges.
Thanos. Sure.
Yeah, and if any of your kids are playing Minecraft or Roblox, then your parents can email me, and Thomas and Abby are playing. They can add you to to a Discord, which is a chat place, and they can add you to their friends list and stuff. So it might give you something to do when you're allowed a bit of screen time, if you're feeling a bit bored, stuck at home.
Wait,
So-
are you... I'm
Message
in here.
retracted.
I'm in white sec. Oh, okay.
Okay, now, what are we going to talk about? So, artist badge. This is one of the ones you can definitely do at home. So what do you need to do? You need to draw with a pencil or a brush or a crayon any picture of a character or scene from a story.
What if you're not good at it?
Told by your examiner, it says.
What?
But I think any story. So you could do a story from your life or from your shutdown or from your favourite book. And it must be at least 18 centimetres by 13 centimetres, which is like...
What?
Just like a piece of paper size, like this big.
I just want to do a little...
No, you gotta draw or paint a proper picture. This is an artist badge. This isn't just a freebie you get given for nothing. You gotta work hard at it. Hello everyone. Hello, Angus. Google only knows that that Endgame is a 43-year-old man in China. Very clever. Then you got to design and make a greeting card, which I guess if you were doing an Easter card, you'd be a little bit late. But you could always do a happy shutdown card.
And then stick it on.
Make a model in
gold.
clay or
Put it
plastic.
in someone's mouth.
Well, you're gonna have a hard time getting clay, but you can, if you really want clay, you can order stuff from Toyco. There's a few places that are. You can ask your parents. There's a few places doing craft supplies, or you can go dig up some mud, and make.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, you made a mud golem, didn't you? Yeah, like a mud statue. Make a decorative article from cane, raffia, wood, leather. Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Angus says nice beard.
Thank you. I saw that. Yes, it's very fuzzy. Make a worthwhile. What is a worthwhile toy or model? Why would it be worthwhile? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You probably
Undertake a
know.
project after discussing it with your leader. It should involve the use of plastic or metal.
Well, how?
The standard expected should be imaginative and high quality. So what are the chances you'll ever get this one, Abby?
1 million.
Yes,
Well,
you can be
that's
imaginative.
that's my imagination thing.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you do want to do the artist badge, it looks like a bit of work, but we can make that happen. Hopefully the video feed's okay for you. It's being very flickery for me. Hello, Daniel Tan. How are you? Cool. So artist, I know some people have got this already.
Oh no, it's not. It's been flickery there as well.
No. Behave, camera. All right. The other one is athlete. Can't really do this one at home, I don't think. Unless you really want to measure out the standing long jump, a 50-meter sprint, a ball throw, a running long jump, and a high jump as well. So that's quite a lot.
I don't know what that is.
You got a pole and it's above the ground, and you got to jump over it.
Is it like this big? Something like this big?
No one can see you over there.
No, but can it be this big? I don't care if people can't see me. Can it be?
No, it has to be like
What if you get
almost a
wedgie?
meter. It has to be like at least this high.
No,
And
what
it can
if it's
go
a
up to a
wedgie?
full meter.
What if it
for
gives
level-
you a wedgie?
Well, you're going to get a sore butt, aren't you?
You have to go like and push yourself over it instead of jumping over it.
Yeah. So you could do that one at home if you had someone take you through the examination. So your parents would have to tick it off, and we're going to see some photos on Facebook or something. There's actually 3 whole stages for it. So the hardest is if you get, you've got to do all of these things really well. It does explain it on the, and we did have a look that in the, if you go again, for those who've joined us, over to the internet and Google for Brooklyn Cub badges, click on that link, you get a PDF, and that PDF has all of the things you must do.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one for
Dad.
parents. But yeah,
Dad.
so, huh? Yes, Abby, you're very funny. Athlete. So book reader. Wow, this is a really good time to work on your book reader badge.
I'm gonna do that.
You got to produce a list of books you've read
Dad, you should
recently.
probably change it.
Oh, yep, hang on. No, I have changed it. It's back here. There we go. So you've got to produce a list of books you've read recently, name the authors, and be able to tell the examiner something about 3 of the books. So again, this one, if you're doing this at home, you can type out an email to me. Your parents will have the email address. What else?
Okay,
The books
now
can
I'm
be chosen by yourself. Must include at least 1 story book, 1 factual book,
What?
and you got to make sure they're up to your standard of reading. So Jacob, you're not allowed to just read
1 word book. Like
Yes.
A baby book. Like,
the
What
hungry
day?
caterpillar. No hungry caterpillar for Jacob.
I hate a pie.
Hello, Stizzens and everyone else. Oh, you're working on some bag. Oh, good one. Nice one, Emma. And then the next thing you got to do after you've done all this thing about list of books and authors and tell the examiner something about them.
Wait, what? A samba? What?
But if something about them could just be summarized, you could just write a few sentences telling us about what the book
Yes,
is about.
I'm sorry, Jacob, but that is how life works.
The next thing is you got to explain how to care for your books. And what is the thing that bugs me with people with books, Abby?
You get a book.
Go get a book. Go get a book. I'll show you the thing. No, Abby, there's a bookshelf right there, full of books. Find one. So when I went to primary school, I had a librarian who told me this, and it stuck with me ever
This
since.
sort of bended.
So you've got a nice book like this, right? Or even worse on a big book, and you're reading it with your eyeballs reading, and then if you turn that book from here, oh, that drives me so crazy when people do that. They turn the books from here, and it damages the page. You always got to turn it from the corner.
I'll go down so you can.
Do I nag you about that a lot, Abby?
No.
Not anymore. Maybe I did once. I have seen you read when you get like especially like a big graphic novel or a big comic book.
Down.
When you turn it from the edges, from the middle, it gets all scratched up.
You can be seen.
Bye bye book.
Jeez! you were caring about that, yet you just
Throwing books is not how you care for books.
Why did you just throw one then?
Because I'm silly. Next, you've got to. Okay, shh. Next, you've got to demonstrate how to use an encyclopedia and an atlas. So, you could look up. That's going to be tricky because not many people have.
Tom?
Where's Tom? There he is. He's just noodling in the background. There aren't many people who have encyclopedias or dictionaries or atlases at home. If you do, then your parents should set you a challenge to look something up.
I have a school dictionary.
Yeah, we'll give you a challenge to look something up in it. If you don't have a paper version, then I'm okay with your parents sending in a photo of you on the computer figuring something out. So I gave Tom a challenge today to figure something out, but he hasn't done it yet. What was it? How to feed a tui. Because Tom has a really cool bird feeder that he made, and it attracts a ton of sparrows, but we never get any tuis there. So we need to.
Out of wood and stuff.
Yeah, so we got to figure out how to do that. So that could be something you could look up, like in an encyclopedia, but you could look it up on the internet.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is. Some surprising person.
You're evil.
So the next thing you have to do is explain to your examiner how the books in the library are set out, and how you would find a specific fiction book, like your favourite authors.
On the edge of the page.
Yes, exactly.
Nice to have.
All librarians will frown at you if they catch you turning pages badly.
And especially this one, even if it...
Oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's the most important thing in your life. So for finding out how to do books in the library,
Cohen.
you could. Oh, hello, Cohen. You could type it out to me and explain it in an email or what have you. So you're working on how many? Emma's got tons of badges: home help, collector, entertainer, and gardener. And Roald Dahl. That's his autobiography, I think, which is his story of his life. He used to be an Air Force pilot.
I think I figured out why Jacob named him something.
Yes, we know.
Because it relates to Thanos, the big purple green.
So this one should be not too hard at all. And it's the computer badge.
It's easy.
It's easy, yes. I sat you through that. I
I
examined
finished it
you.
in like 10 minutes.
Well, you do have a lot of time on the computer. So, hi, Angus.
I know my way around.
So, computer badge. I'm not going to read all of this one because we'll be here all night otherwise. But it's actually, that one's a pretty straightforward one. And this one really requires your parents to, can you be careful not to click anything? Requires your parents to tick off that you can point out the main parts of a computer.
Oh, no.
All right. Demonstrate your examiner being able to find things on the internet, like the Scouts website, weather forecast for your local town, information on cyberbullying, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty straightforward, and you should be able to answer that. Conservator. You guys have got that from last year when we did all the rat catching and stuff.
I got it from there before.
Yeah, this one is about doing a bunch of stuff like making a bird feeder, clearing a creek. Oh, you got to do one of these things. So for anyone who's done the creek cleaning, that is definitely something you could say you've already done part of. There's nature trails. You've got to go on an expedition with your group to the countryside. So that one's actually not too bad. So you could read that and choose to do one of those things. Bird feeder is pretty straightforward.
I want to make a bird feeder, but maybe after lockdown because we don't have stuff.
Well, yeah, that might be a bit easier. All right. And there's also a bunch of other things. Well, you got to choose an endangered plant and find out what's done to save it. Find out one of the processes of nature, like how a butterfly grows. Well, there's quite a few things here. That's not too bad. I reckon you could do all of that at home, even with a plastic. Like you could get a ice cream ice cream container, and cut a little hole in it and stick a stick through it and put some food in it. I don't know. Have a Google. See if there's a nice
bottle.
Yeah, a tree bottle is a good one as well. A cream bottle.
Yeah, like those little cream.
Yep, or a soda bottle.
Milk bottle.
A soda bottle can be used to feed tuis. You'd have to Google around for some designs, but that could definitely be a good one to do at home.
Why are you sleeping?
Cook is one that your parents would maybe really. Hello, Mr. Parkin. probably really want some help with. So this one is, you got to boil an egg, which isn't too bad. You've got to make sandwich for lunch, or for your school lunch it says, but I think making a sandwich or making your own lunch during lockdown. You've already got it? I know. Ice cream. You got to explain the benefit of eating fruit, wash and dry dishes, and help prepare the evening meal for 1 week. If not every day for a week, at least like maybe every Sunday you help out with cooking or something.
That's what I.
So that's quite a good one. We do quite a lot of cooking here, don't we? What do we bake a lot of lately?
Bread.
We bake
I've made
tons
so
of bread.
much.
You've made so much.
No,
You've made a
we've
couple
made
of
so
loaves.
much.
We've made so much bread because it's nice to have
At least
fresh
10
bread.
loaves.
And we don't have any normal bread.
Cyclist.
Because we finished.
Cyclist is probably a little harder. Many of you have, I guess, kind of done some of that already if you went to the Rah bike track. So for the rest of it, if you did really want to work on it, if you've got a parent who really knows their bicycling skills, then you could ask them to work you through that one. Entertainer. And it sounds like Emma's going to be entertaining from home. So you've got to do any of the 4 following. Sing folk songs, demonstrate a magic trick, tell a yarn. Emma, you should tell us what you're going to be doing for that one. Where did I get the yeast? Well, I bought the yeast in a shop.
Before lockdown, because we knew it was going to happen.
But you don't need to do that. If you don't have yeast, you can Google how to make a starter, a sourdough starter, and then you can do it using just grapes. Grapes are covered in a little bit of yeast.
Wait,
it's
can I
how
see
grapes
this?
turned into wine in the first place. You get the grapes, you put them in a jar of water, and you let the water get all cloudy, and then you do stuff. You add a bit of flour and you faff around. So you can actually make a sourdough starter just with any fruit like grapes, any other, probably just about any fruit. Apples will have a bit of yeast on them. So yeah, you can do it that way.
I can do this.
Yes.
Everyone,
Melody.
everyone knows that it's you.
Is anyone listening to the stream? Everyone
I
can
bake
type in
with
chat.
yeast.
So next week, you bake with yeast.
Instead of
I
this.
am the yeet.
Next week we'll be doing a Zoom chat, so you can all talk to each other a bit
High
as well.
five, yeah.
So, magic tricks. Tell a story. Using puppets, tell a story just with your mouth and talking. Teach a simple song, kind of hard to do right now. Play a musical instrument, produce a play, perform some tumbling tricks, do some folk dancing of some
Beer has
kind,
yeast. Yes, it
or
does.
some other entertainment. You can actually, yes, beer does have yeast, so you can get, if your parents have got a craft beer, like one of the nice, fancy, expensive beers, get the leftovers of that, put that in a jar with some water and a little bit of sugar, and soon you'll have a huge yeast colony. Because they don't manage to, especially in the cloudy beers, they don't filter out all the yeast. I'm just
They
checking
can
what
say
Emma's
none.
saying. Beer has yeast. Has Emma got any? Bye, Angus. Anyone else got any? Nope, no one's. Emma hasn't told us what she's going to be doing. Yeah, keep an eye on Thomas. He's sneaky. So I haven't
gum.
seen. Yeah, put your gum away. Shoo.
Why are you eating? Is that
Yeah.
the one from the what?
Shoo. Go on, put the gum away.
No.
I'm serious.
Your
Hold
lol. Your lol.
So,
Hold on.
entertainer, you could do that at home. And if you did want to do your entertaining on Zoom to the rest of us, let us know, and I'll set up a Zoom and I'll mute everyone, which will be a good idea.
Also, Jacob, by the way, you're the lol one. You're the one we should be saying lol to.
All right, first aid badge. Many of you have got that already. Kind of hard to do that at home, so we'll skip it, I think. What else have we got? Fishing. You're not really
No,
allowed to go anywhere unless you've got a pond in your gardening. Now, there's one that I want these kids to do because then I don't have to do the gardening.
I want to do it.
What do you have to do for it?
I want to do
You
it.
have to look after a patch of garden, know what tools are
Okay.
used,
I'm
or-
looking after my.
grow some plants indoors. And then you've got to do something like grow some vegetables from seed, know the hazards of plants and flowers, what diseases and pests, show how to prepare flowers for display, make a compost heap, carry out a soil test,
Can
know
I
how
do
to store
that?
vegetables. That's a lot of hassle.
Can I?
Well,
I
yeah, of
wanna
course you
do
can.
that.
You got to pick this up. You know exactly where it is at all times. Read it and then start
There,
doing it.
right there
We've
in
already
your
done
house.
the
Right.
compost heap and we've maintained the lawn.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
put that
No.
gum away before you get in trouble. Off you go.
Fine.
Help plan and plant a rockery garden, maintain a lawn, all that stuff. I don't know. That one you could definitely do with your parents' help. If you've got parents who are gardeners, they could definitely help you work through that.
Going up.
Hobbies. This one is kind of really easy. You could get this one straight away by basically writing me an email, describing, and especially if you send in some photos, you got to describe a hobby that you have had for a few months and that you've had progress in.
I've had a hobby for a few years.
What's yours?
Ballet.
Yes.
I've had it since I was 2.
Yes. Write me an email all about it.
I've had
An email? I
Yes.
can just tell you.
I don't want you to tell me. I want an email. I'm very
I'll
fussy.
just write it down on a piece of paper.
Oh, so Emma's going to sing 2 folk songs, make some puppets, and maybe a melody on a musical instrument, and make up a play. That's awesome.
It should
That's
be
really
stands for scratch my bum.
Your hobby is-
Your hobby is video games.
Yes.
Video games? No, I want to see a different hobby.
What?
It's
That's
too
a
easy.
hobby.
Because you need to show progress, and I
have-
don't. What progress have you made?
Fortnite
What rank are
skills.
you in?
I don't play arena.
Well, there you go. You don't play arena. You
Fine,
don't
I'll
get
play
it.
Arena.
Okay, you play arena and get up rank, and then we'll talk about your
Cool, I'll
hobby.
get to contenders
Alright.
league.
If you do that, then you get the hobby badge.
Yes.
Okay, so likewise for the rest of you. Hobbies,
You're rich?
definitely
Really?
a good one.
I don't think you're that rich.
Home help. I'm sure lots of parents would like home help.
I will
right
do
now.
that.
Sing.
Oh,
Jacob
don't kick the
sing.
microphone.
Jacob's hobby is darts.
Darts. Send us some photos of darts and throwing them accurately. Let's see.
Jacob can sing.
Jacob can sing. Do we want to hear Jacob sing one day? Maybe at the Zoom.
Yes, Jacob.
Yes,
Send us a video and we'll play it on the stream.
Yeah, get your parents to put a Facebook post up.
Like this.
Home help.
I think
So
somebody
this is a
can
good
do
one you could do from home. You just got to help out. So you can do this one while you're doing the cooking one, because once you've done the cooking, you got to you can do the washing and drying. That's one thing done. Explain why it's important to remove scraps of food from kitchen. Didn't sit at the dining table. Is football a hobby? Yes, it is. So if you've been doing football for ages, send in some photos of your hobby.
Like at least a few months.
Especially if you've been playing like in any of the competitive leagues, or even if you've arranged stuff with your mates and you've got something going, that'd be cool.
What's this to Jacob don't sing?
Don't sing. Home help badge rocks. I think I know who's saying that. I don't think it's Corey. I think it's Corey's mum likes a home help badge. Take your turn, setting the table, tidy your bedroom for a week without being reminded. Is that ever going to happen?
Sure.
No, it's never going to happen. No one's getting this one.
Yeah.
Help vacuum. Wash and iron your cup scarf.
No,
That would be good. Wash and iron your... You're going to sing Baby Shark. Okay.
Baby Shark.
If you sing it, Jacob, and play it on an instrument, that's 2 things.
Yeah, just get
Or is
the
it just one
piano.
thing?
Hold on, we have a piano back here. It's not on. But
Well, I mean,
it's
Jacob
on,
can...
like-
If you danced and sung it, that would be like maybe halfway to your entertainment badge. If your Arcala agrees. I'm not your Arcala, so he might have different standards.
Jacob sings
Stop.
Somebody Come Get
Okay,
Her.
it's not just about Jacob and you. Shush, shush. So, you've also, for home help, you've got a wash and iron your cub scarf. And I think you should do your... Shh. I'm talking. I think you should do your shirts too. Like, every cub should be able to iron their scarf and iron their shirt. Parents can teach you how to do that. It's not very hard. What else is going on? You could sew a badge on your uniform.
Sure.
That's quite hard. I find that hard on my fingers.
I can do it. Mum has a hard way of doing it. She goes like really thin and goes really tight.
All right.
Should sing for Somebody
Tom?
Come Get Her song.
Shush. All right. So faith, if you're a religious person, if you have faith in stuff, then you can go through here and do this. It's quite long, but it's not too hard, and it's a pretty good
What
one.
do you have to do?
You have to do some good turns. You have to go to church. You have to read a prayer. Love your families and attend a church or religious service.
I don't think that's possible right now.
No, that's kind of hard right now. You could do an online one. There are online services. Pet keeper, quite a lot of you have got this already, or you're most of the way through it. If you don't have a pet, you can get a pet rock maybe.
Can we actually do
No,
that?
you can't.
That was a trend in
So this one is basically, many of you had a lecture from a veterinary nurse that covered a lot of stuff about health and looking after your pets and stuff. Then there is, you've got to write down things that would do, like you've got to write a little diary of, Tom? You've got to write a little diary of keeping your pets, how you've looked after them, like taking them for walks, fed them, that kind of stuff.
Do you want to know my
Brush them.
diary? Nothing.
I play Fortnite. That's my.
Okay, there's the.
diary.
You gotta look
Grab a
up
rock,
there to the
throw it
camera.
around. Okay,
My diary is
my
I play
pet
Fortnite.
is a rock. What I do with it is throw it around.
Dad, can I?
There.
Dad,
Best
Talk about it later.
keeper.
If I get the birds out there to like me, does that count? And
Photographer.
then I look after them.
No.
Aw.
Photographer. So there's a cub badge for photographers. You've got to take a bunch. This is a bit tricky because it's written for like when there was lots of film cameras, but you should be able to figure it out. So you got to do like film and video, or photography and video. If you're doing video and you're not sure what to do, then get your Lego out and look for a stop motion app on the store and make a little Lego movie where you move the figures around. That'd be really cool. That would be very creative.
What about
Oh,
if you
yeah.
just do a little dancing?
And you should maybe, you should display the photos, which we can do as well. So this one actually, if you do like cameras and photography, then have a read of this one, because you could do all the photography piece. We could put it up on Facebook. Yes.
So, wait, talking about Lego, there's a Lego competition. And I'm gonna
Oh
do
yeah,
some
there is
shit.
you got to build something for the Lego competition. I can't
It's
remember where
about
it's from.
Wellington.
Yeah.
It has to be related. It has to be from Wellington. I'm building a Star
Or
Trek
like
truck.
related to Wellington.
Best chicken ever.
So you can display the photos. It says in a computer, but I mean we can put them up on Facebook. You can email them to me, and you should discuss as well. So if you are taking photos, you've got to type out why you think the photos are really cool. What was good about it? And you've also got to talk about the features of the camera. So if you're using a digital camera like a phone camera, then you should understand what the different, like on this, there are
There's
how
a lot of
many
features on
how
there.
many cameras are there, for example. Like you
There's
should
a lot of features on
Yep.
there.
Shh. How many cameras are there? Like you should go and Google the type of phone your parents have, or the one you're using, if you're using your own phone, or your own camera, and you should write up a little bit about that.
6. Done. 6.
All right. So, food emojis. Good job, Baby Shark. Scientist. This one is
You're
a little.
a cowboy.
Oh, it's quite
Oh, you
It's
can
probably one you
sew.
could definitely work on from home, but there's quite a lot to it, and some of them
There's a
require.
YouTube channel that you can sing on it.
Some of them require a bunch of activities to take place. So scientist, yeah, not bad. Whoa, actually it's
What does dedicated
sportsman. So sportsman might actually be what you're thinking of if you're thinking of hobbies. Let's have a look. Well, sports person, really. Sports kid.
mean? What does Jacob just say?
I don't think-
Okay, Tom, shush for a second. So sportsman, this is really not too hard at all. You've got to explain the rules of two
Dad, why are
sports.
you on there? That's not even showing.
Because if I put the other view on, then Thomas sits there talking non-stop. So
I'm
if
watching
I
the comments.
take it away, then he
Can we
doesn't
just
talk.
read it without talking?
No, shush.
Okay.
So for sportsmen, you should explain the rules of two sports. There's a whole list there, but really any two sports that you really enjoy. Take part in sports. So if you're playing soccer a lot, or you're going to Onslow or what have you, or you're in cricket, easy peasy. Demonstrate you know how to look after your sports and equipment. That includes cleaning it. If you've got a ball sport, blowing up the ball. Show you're a good sports person.
I don't like using my new balls. They're shiny.
Explain why it's important to take a shower or bath after games, because I guess if you're muddy and smelly.
It's disgusting if you don't.
Explain why it's important to take care of your feet and what can happen if they don't. Go and smell your dad's feet if you don't know what will happen.
Okay.
Got my giant fluffy.
Ew! Oh! Ew!
My feet do not smell it
My
bad.
feet don't smell.
Alright, swimming can't do because you're stuck at home. So
Unless you have
too
a
bad.
swimming
Unless you have a
pool.
pool.
Unless you have a pool.
And like your
Well,
parents,
that's
like
it.
a swimming teacher.
So, if in case you're wondering, those are all the personal interest badges which go on your whichever side, right side, right? They all go down on here. You also get your bronze, silver, and gold badges. In the Tuesday Cubs, there's only a couple of people with bronze who are going towards silver. Those you get from basically just turning up all the time and doing activities with the Cubs.
Do I
and
get it then?
You will eventually, yeah. It's up to the Cub leaders to make sure that everyone can get those over time. It's up to us to make that happen. So eventually you get those, and yeah, the rest of the time you can get all kinds of badges for this side, which
You
is
can
fun.
also get event badges,
Okay, so much.
which you also stick on your left side, but
don't
we have
think we
Cub
can
blankets, so I just stick mine on my blanket. I
Yes.
don't bother having them
That's
on
it.
my left sleeve.
So yeah, unless are there any questions here? I hope you guys have some ideas. You may already be eligible for badges, so especially sports kid. I know a lot of you out there are doing cricket based on the amount of throwing I saw of the vortex, the massive throws. There are lots of cricket players out there who probably already can go get a sportsman badge. But what you need to do, you need to get this and you need to tell your parents, please help me send an email or put a Facebook message up to Peter and send it out. What happened to the Brookfield camp badges? Who on Tuesday got a Brookfield camp badge?
Oh, I got a Brookfield.
Put your hands up on Thursday if you got yours. So you need to harass your Kayla. They're all, the Brookfield badges are all in the room, in the badge room. So they're all there, and I guess everyone will get them after lockdown. So they took a little while.
Outside is overrated.
And we're all very lucky because Hayden from Nio got those all for us for free. So that's really cool.
Why does Jacob say 3? Did I win?
Thomas? Shish. So, yeah, so we will convene next week on Zoom. So I'll send out a meeting invite for that. Many of you should know how to do that after this week because your schools will be having you use Zoom. And we will have any badges that are required.
I'm having a Zoom meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, you're having Zoom meeting tomorrow. So
Yay.
if you have evidence for a badge or you want to show off what you did for a badge next week, you can do that. If it's a performance thing or it's a hobby, you want to show us what you're doing, you dress up in your uniform, whatever, you can do that. That'd be cool. We'll do that on Zoom.
Wow.
Otherwise, just send me in an email or Facebook post for your badges, and we'll look at them and recite them there.
My secret code. Thanos.
It says
We know
Thomas.
your secret code.
Thomas.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone. It's time for dinner.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Have fun. I hope to
Bye.
catch you all again next week for Zoom.
I agree
And
with Jacob.
what's that?
I agree with
Oh
Jacob.
yes,
Jacob
we
is-
are
Overrated.
awesome.
Except I play Fortnite and I play Minecraft.
Yes, Thomas, you're 10 now.
And I play
Good.
Roblox.
Yeah,
And
and
I
if
play
there are
Roblox.
any parents out
And I
there
play
who wanna connect their kids into like the little kid gaming group that is out there for free time, then just drop me a message on Facebook or email me.
And then we'll send you the link.
Yeah, send
can
stuff.
make
Okay,
it
bye.
Yeet.
Have
We can
fun.
make a separate server
Yeet.
called
Bye bye. Say bye.
Dab.
Yeet.
Dab on the air.
Bye.